right after the first movie, I was writing short stories for a collection of short stories, and there was a seed of this movie in one of those stories. There was a breakup and the feeling of wanting to stop time. That short story it wasn't a good one. Many of them are not. And that idea carried into a performance that I did that I was pretty happy with. It had a talking cat. It had a dance in a shirt, and a whole lot of other things that are not in this movie. And eventually, I realized that I was kind of interested in what these elements would be like in a less avant-garde context, Like none of those things are that surprising in, a theater space, But if I could pull them off in a very narrative, somewhat conservative realm, a movie that would try to have theatrical release, that felt like a real challenge to me. So I took, so that's just by way of answering the question. Sometimes I just don't know. And, but if I'm interested enough, I'm sort of willing to follow the idea through different mediums. All the things that Sophie does, my character does, are the things I fear most in myself, that I'll get stuck making something, and that I just will get stuck so badly that I have to sort of break up with myself in a way. And so I thought, okay, if you're going to be afraid of this, if you're going to spend this much time worrying about this over the course of your life, let's follow it through. Like, it's sort of embarrassing, especially to do in public, but like, what would happen then? So you are so disappointed in yourself that you don't even want to be yourself, then what? How would you try to sort of flee your own soul or your own having to try, and would it be possible? And I don't think it would. I think you would come crawling after yourself. Some essential part of yourself would always haunt you. So I think that was a real, it's like the thing. It's such a hard medium. It's so hard to make a movie that in some ways it has to be almost against your will, the topics. Like if you're too comfortable with them, then there's no reason to spill blood, there's no war. And that was definitely, the whole thing was so kind of miserable for me to get into, and therefore worth it. Yeah. The different mediums do work together. You also get a break from, I don't want to make another movie right now, but I want to make stuff every day. And it helps because, you have different insecurities and different ways that you feel powerful, and there's some things that are really liberating about film, and then some things that aren't. I think actually, just as an example, like if I hadn't come into this movie through performance, I think I would have felt pretty insecure and self-conscious making my second movie, especially after the first one, it made me more aware of people looking at me, which isn't a good thing. It's a good thing for the movie. It's not a good thing for the, person trying to think of their second movie. So it was a great way to feel free. This is a performance. No one's looking over here, at this thing. In fact, most people will not see this performance, and yet it's just as real to me. I worked very hard on it. So I felt very free. I wasn't thinking about the world of film at all. So sometimes it can work like that. And also there are different speeds, like an art idea or a story can be very quick, and that's great. Like, you shouldn't have to labor over everything in the same way. It's like the ideas have sort of different densities, I think. So, yes. Okay, so that was the last one. All right, well, thank you. Go into the night and do other things. Thank you.